Hey guys, Akil here. Welcome back to the Trading Coach Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a very important decision that you may have to make in your trading. Now, before we kind of tingle and tickle your mind with that very important trading decision, I have a very easy decision for you to make, and that is making sure you attend our upcoming Beat the House online 4-day free trading workshop. Link to sign up is in the notes below, or you can head over to www.tier1trading.com. But the workshop is starting soon. You need to reserve your seat. That way you get the email that tells you when to log in, and you get sent the recordings after each and every day. So it starts August 13th. www.tier1trading.com is where you can sign up. Now, check out the show. So got a question about return on investment. This is interesting because this follows up on the podcast episode that I accidentally released yesterday. I accidentally released 2 podcast episodes by mistake, so you're welcome. And the second one I released was a conversation about backtesting, a conversation about results, and how to handle a situation if, like, you're backtesting a pair and you get really good results for like the first 5 years. But then the second 5 years, the results suck. Like, should you trade it? Should you scrap it? But overall, still profitable. So this question is similar. It says, hey, Akil, I won't be able to make the Q&A session, but I got a question for you. I'm looking at expanding the portfolio of pairs, and I want you guys to answer this. Looking to expand the portfolio of pairs that I trade, and I have a pair that over 10 years generates a negative return on investment. Most years, it's 2 to 4% in the red, but the few years that it does well are the years that my other pairs in the portfolio struggle. So this pair actually brings up my bad years, making for a smoother equity curve and a more even year on return over the portfolio. I've been through the filtering, customizing phase for this pair to see if I can make it profitable, and there's no saving it. In isolation, it's rubbish. I love that. I love that word. Gotta put that back into my in my vocabulary. It's rubbish, but as a part of the portfolio, it props up the others when they struggle. Please, can you share your view on whether you'd here's the game: scrap it or keep it? Right? Interesting one, right? So what do you guys think? The trader's got a pair that is rubbish most years. 2 to 4% negative. But that pair performs positively when the other pairs in the portfolio are performing negative, and it helps keep the boat afloat. So what do you think? Would you keep a pair that is rubbish, a negative pair that benefits your portfolio, right? Seems kind of insane, right? This seems kind of insane. Why would you keep a pair that is negative? George says, yeah, I would keep it. Any other opinions out there? Or she says, if it helps with the overall portfolio, then I would keep it. Also, needs to consider, would you handle it psychologically with that pair not performing so well? And that brings up another fascinating element as well. How do you feel trading a pair that's not profitable, right? Trading is hard when you have pairs that are profitable, right? You have a pair that's amazing. It is still hard to actually trade it. It's hard to go in and, like, I know this pair is profitable. I backtested. This is my best pair. Right? You still get those tingly winglies when it's time to trade it. So imagine what the mindset would be if you go in with a pair that is not profitable, right? You would think the mindset's already negative, right? Mindset matters, and mind state matters so much in trading because we need to be, like, overconfident in everything we do, right? We just had the Olympics. I don't know how many guys saw it yesterday. The men's 100-meter dash, first gold medal by an American since, 20-something years, right? Noah Lyles. And I was talking to some fellow track coaches the other day, and they're wondering, they're like, man, why does there seem to be so much hate over Noah Lyles? If you guys aren't familiar with Noah Lyles, he's a 100-meter sprinter. Actually, he's better than a 200, but he's really flamboyant. He's kind of like Usain Bolt in a way. Like Usain Bolt was, Usain Bolt, flashy, dancing with mascots, all that stuff. Noah Lyles is the same way, but I don't think he's as globally accepted as Usain Bolt. Everyone loves Usain Bolt, and Noah Lyles is like, it kind of seems like, you're trying too much, you're doing too much. But he's overconfident. He's talking in press conferences like, yeah, I'm the best, come beat me. And as a former short sprinter myself, that's how we are. Like you don't run that fast without being fully locked in. Like if I ever showed up to a race with any doubt that I was going to trash everyone, I would lose. And I lost the race before I started, right? So sprinters, jumpers are the most confident beast on the track. Like if you put me next to Usain Bolt in his prime and asked me if I was going to beat him, my answer would be yes. Right? Now, deep down, I know it's not true, but that's the place that you have to get yourself to run those type of races. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Olympic final from the other day, watch the men's 100-meter dash. You have to be that way. So I get it. It's the mindset that you have to carry to be successful. And trading is very similar because you have to enter the market with this, not an overconfident mindset, but a confidence, because so many things are trying to scare you and deviate you from your plan. So imagine you having a pair that is negative. That would be the equivalent of me going into a race being like, and I see this a lot in coaching, unfortunately, and I know what the results look like. That would be the equivalent of me going to the race being like, yeah, I'm going to lose. I'm not fast enough. I shouldn't be here. I'm going to get last. Like, you've already lost before you even started. And that's why I like Orsi's point, because that could be very tough. Like, imagine you taking a trade on a pair. You get a signal for a trade, and you know this pair is rubbish. You know it stinks. Like, what confidence do you have to trade it? Do you have any? How easy do you think it would be to be like, I'm going to sit this one out because I know this is a loser pair, so I shouldn't trade it. And that's that's extremely difficult. So what would need to happen is the greater good would have to overcome that. You would have to be so mentally strong to be like, I know this pair is rubbish, but bigger picture, I know it helps with everything else. And that is a very tough task. Now, someone like me, I can probably do it because I'm super awesome and so much better than all of you guys. But seriously, I am. But seriously, I've been doing this for 18 years, right? So like, I showed you guys with the DKC strategy last year that was a strategy that was below my preferred win percentage. It was in the 30s, 30 to 35, right? I need to be at least like 40 to be comfortable. So it was below that. It had massive drawdowns, meaning it routinely took like double-digit losing streaks in a row. And I was able to trade it because it was a secondary strategy. I don't know if I'd be able to trade it if it was my primary strategy, because that's tough to deal with. And this is someone who's been doing this for nearly 2 decades. So imagine a new trader coming in to do this where you don't have the confidence, you don't have the experience, you don't have the outlook of like, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years and I know what this should look like. That's a tall tale. So in theory, and I'm doing like the important people professor hands, right? In theory, right? I do think it's worth trading, because looking at the bigger picture, the greater good, as George mentioned, it benefits the portfolio. And at the end of the day, right, we want to do what benefits the portfolio. However, in reality, I think you have to answer the question on an individual basis, can I actually mentally and psychologically deal with this? And that could be tough. Now, ideally, the best situation is this. We spoke about this in the podcast, right? The 3 baskets, right? You have your super dupers, you have your stinkers, and then you have your steady Freddies, your okay ones. Because I have some pairs in my portfolio like this where they're okay. Ideally, if that one's negative, you throw that in the stinker box, and hopefully you find another pair that is like more slightly profitable, meaning like it doesn't wow you. You would never trade it in its own right, but it's like just slightly profitable. So at least in your mind, mentally, you check that box of knowing that, hey, this isn't a stinker pair. It does make profit. It's not super profitable, but it does make profit on a regular basis. It's going to push me in the right direction, and it helps me when my other ones are down. That's the ideal fix. You scrap this one and plug in one of those. But if you don't have one of those, you got to do what you got to do. So it's a very interesting situation, and I think what it comes down to is asking yourself mentally, psychologically, am I built to deal with this? And in most cases, that's something you don't know until you actually start trading live. So cool stuff there. That could be. Let me write. That could be a podcast question. That could be a good follow up on the podcast we did the other day. Let me write that in my notes. All right. Any follow-ups on that? Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments section about how you would handle this situation. Do you think you would be comfortable trading a pair or having a pair like this in your portfolio, knowing it doesn't perform well, but it helps the greater good? Or psychologically, do you think that you would be a mess and would prefer just to kind of eliminate it and trade the other ones? Let me know. I think it's an awesome subject. You can tell it kind of caught me by surprise, and this is why I love the Trading Coach podcast. This is why I love our Q&A sessions, because we can have these ideas and share it with different traders and just get different thoughts and continue to learn and grow in this field.